Spill the beans, number 4, and Ray again picked the coldest. You got to stop. This is not a record I want you to keep breaking. The coldest day since 2019. Fantastic day to get coffee.
It
actually.
is
Yeah.
warm coffee. I'm looking out for the inside of our bodies.
Yeah, inside the bodies,
Yeah.
not the outside of the bodies.
Yeah.
And today we're going to be going to
Lincoln Park, and we are going to go to Cafe Deco. I'm so sorry if I got that wrong.
Cafe Deco.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic.
So they are known for like their, I think it's like the 1860s art type thing. So super excited to see like the interior.
Can you tell me a little bit about 1860s art, Ray?
I don't know. We're gonna go find out. That might be the.
Interesting. I love that era.
It might be the wrong era. I'm gonna have to double check the era that their art is from. Bundle
Let's
up.
go. This side, my friend. Lincoln Park
Yes.
is where we're off to today.
Yes.
And it has been and has been for a very long time the most desirable location to live in Chicago.
Easily, yes.
I mean, even since I've been selling real estate, Lincoln Park was like the go-to destination. Why do you think that is?
I think because one, it's pretty. Everywhere you go, it's just the real estate that you have there. You have the parks, there's greenery, there's nature. Even though you're like dead center in the city almost.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty. I think it's like a really good area for people that want to be outdoors, and you can walk in the parks, and there's just so many outdoor activities there.
Yeah.
That brings people.
Also, obviously, schools is a huge determining factor.
Yep.
And the real estate is surprisingly, it's actually like it leans old, like very old real estate, but it's very historic.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of people, they want to be close to the lake. That's one of the reasons that people move to Chicago. They just want to be next to the lake. So Lincoln Park accomplishes that. Restaurants, bars, entertainment, all of the stuff that you really want. It's fantastic in Lincoln Park.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, it's really close to the city, right? So it kind of becomes like your first neighborhood to the north that is a neighborhood that's not just like urban jungle.
Yeah.
So that's probably one of the reasons why as well. You uncovered a pretty interesting, did you know about Lincoln Park?
I did.
I didn't even know this. Why don't you tell the viewers a little bit about the history, the spooky history of Lincoln Park?
It did start out a little bit grim, Lincoln Park.
Yeah.
So tales have been told that it has started as like a full-on cemetery. I'm trying to think of what the disease was. I think it was a smallpox. I think smallpox took over, killed, sadly, a bunch of people, and they used Lincoln Park as a burial ground. And as people started to move in, on the shore of, next to Lake Michigan was prone to flooding. And they were getting concerned that the flood waters sitting on these dead people was going to leak into Lake Michigan. So they wanted to then remove these dead people, so they dug them up and pushed them further out from the shore. Pushed them out further from the shore, which is very interesting. I thought they would literally unbury them and just, we're gonna move you, a mile in from Lake Michigan.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they just took them, they moved them up. There's a lot of protesting that came into that before it was actually a thing, and it took them 6 months to move all of these bodies. Yeah, they say apparently to this day that when they take old homes and they tear them down, or they start building something new and they dig into the ground, that they still find remains.
So they didn't move all the bodies?
Well, we don't know really how many bodies were there. So, I don't know if they were counting the dead people as they picked them up and replanted them somewhere.
That is a very grim, very bleak view of the beginnings of Lincoln Park.
It is, yeah. And actually Graceland Cemetery, that's over there, is one where those people were moved over.
Lincoln Park literally started from the bottom.
And worked its way up. It did. Now we're here.
Lincoln Park, you constantly amaze me. So what are your favorite things about Lincoln Park? What would you say you personally love about Lincoln Park?
Mine, I think, is I just like love walking the neighborhoods and seeing the real estate. But not only that, like the people that live in Lincoln Park love that they live in Lincoln Park, and they let the world know that. So when it comes to like the holidays, like Halloween and Christmas, it is very, very decorated by homeowners there.
True.
It's like they take pride that they live in Lincoln Park, and it shows. And I think that's like one of my favorite things is how well we maintain everything there is, just the old architecture and how they keep that, but keep it maintained so it stays in good condition. You know, you don't really see like crappy homes.
I will say though, like Lincoln Park, because it has older construction, on average, for what you get for your money, like, you know, it's so expensive for the type of quality of real estate that you get. Even though it's like, you know, obviously location, yes, I totally get that, but like a lot of these homes just, they don't have to be redone and renovated in the same way as maybe some other neighborhoods. So like you just get like trading of like not the best quality real estate. So when you're, of course, obviously like there's like multi-million dollar mansions, that's a completely different story. But like these walk-ups and these old apartment buildings, it's like there needs to be a change, because one of the reasons that actually people have started to move out of Lincoln Park is because as schools are getting better and as other neighborhoods are popping off, you're just getting for the same money so much more, and people are realizing that they're like, well, maybe I don't have to live so close to the lake.
Yeah.
So I personally think that, like, you know, for the longevity of value growth in Lincoln Park, we have to see some change coming here. But I will say also, for the opportunity hunters, if you can find, you know, a piece of real estate that I'm talking about, you can put money in towards renovating it, and you can go as big and as crazy as you want, because the money will be there in Lincoln Park, right? So like there's all the different levels. There's like multi-million dollar sales. So like people with money are willing to buy quality stuff, but you need to be putting in and being able to put the work in.
Yeah.
Obviously it has to make sense, and you have to be able to buy right, all that stuff, but that is one of the opportunity for like people that are looking to get into Lincoln Park, but they don't have a huge budget. I mean, it's a good idea to buy something that needs work and doing it over time, because it will appreciate your value, and if you do the right types of fixes, it will give you more money back than you put into it.
Yeah, Lincoln Park will always be a desirable location. I don't see that going away.
Also, the actual park is so nice.
Yeah, it is.
Lincoln's Park. Do you think he went there?
Well, it's named after Lincoln.
I don't.
I'm sure he was there. I'm sure he stepped foot.
I don't think so.
Lincoln was all over the place here. I've read his biography.
Was Lincoln Park a neighborhood when he was around?
It was named after him.
But like, you name things after.
Well, so originally Lincoln Park was named Lake Park. And after Lincoln's presidency, they switched over and named it Lincoln Park. So, yeah, I'm sure.
Lake Park.
Yeah, Lake Park.
It doesn't have the same ring to it.
It doesn't, that's why they changed it.
More like Death Park.
I think that's why they took the lake and turned it Lake View, and that's why they neighbor each other now.
Oh, yeah.
They broke it apart.
That was like you didn't give me that little note.
Well, I wanted to just throw it in.
Yeah, that was a curveball.
Yeah.
Curveball fact. You don't want me to have it all.
Curve.
It's your show, not mine. I'm just living in it.
I don't know about that. It's our show. Okay. It's enough car talk.
Enough car talk. You're making my head hurt. Hey, can you tell me about 1840s art? Like, get the fuck out of here. All right, so let's talk Lincoln Park. So tell me numbers. What are we looking at in regards to values for single-family homes?
Single-family homes, as we mentioned before, real estate is a little bit higher in this neighborhood. We're looking at 1.825 as the average home sale price in Lincoln Park. So we're definitely up there.
So in regards to like single family homes, just values in general in Lincoln Park are really, they're much higher here, right?
Yeah.
Because of demand and desirability like we're talking about. Single family homes in general are so much more expensive here because just to build new is so expensive because you can't, pieces of land, like lots sell for about $1 million here, if not more, depending on the desirability.
Easily.
So if you're at $1 million for a lot, and it costs you about $1 million to build a house, that doesn't surprise me that the average sales price of a single family home is about 1.8 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's odd.
But again, money's here. People are willing to pay it. People don't even, at that point, they just buy multiple lots, and there's $4 to $5 million sales.
You do see a lot of double lots buys here in Lincoln Park, I think just because they want the space. But even if you're walking around, you can see the corner lots especially, they're usually always double lots, I've noticed in Lincoln Park.
So, condos, what are your average condo prices?
I was looking at about $560, so way more reasonable price, I would say.
500 to 600,000?
Yeah, $560,000. You got me all messed up now.
60,000.
$560,000.
$560,000
is the average.
And it's about what you think about, like 2-bedroom for that price?
Yeah, definitely 2 bedrooms. I think are going to be mostly what you'll find in this area. But it's definitely more reasonable to get a buyer in here to go the condo route.
Yeah, I think for buyers to have the right perspective and mindset when it comes to these prices, right? These are entry prices.
Yeah.
Not entry, but let's call it entry plus.
Yeah.
So.
Entry plus.
I like that, right? It makes sense.
Pull that out of your ass, but that's fine.
But it's a very well seasoned mindset, so I understand.
Yeah.
Okay? But anyways, I was gonna say well seasoned ass, but I don't think that was gonna be.
No.
So I'm going the wrong way that one. Yes. But when you're talking about you're not talking brand new construction, right? So because new construction, even 2 bedrooms are 800,000, right? Easy. 700,000 would be a low entry point for new construction 2 bedrooms. So when you're thinking about it, you're looking at, white finishes, maybe outdated floors. So you're coming into Lincoln Park with a mindset of not new. And that and I think the most successful buyer is somebody that's coming in to find the right space, but not the finishes that they want. And then they come in and they make the finishes that they want. Because again, you can get a ton of value back because people are willing to pay for it. You just have to come in with the right mindset to this neighborhood.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the way that I always talk about how to buy right in a very high value neighborhood. You can buy new construction if you want to just be turnkey and you have a long-term mindset, but find that value.
Yeah.
Come into a place where people are willing to spend the money and give them what they want. Just buy low and do that. I've had a lot of clients do that. Do we know what multi-unit average prices are?
I don't have those prices.
Okay. I would feature to say you're most likely looking at the $1 million plus mark.
Oh, yeah. I think that would be the minimum buy-in, and you'd have to do a lot of work.
A lot of work. I mean,
a lot of work going into $1 million buy.
Turnkey 3 flat, you're looking 2.5 plus,
easily.
3 million plus.
Easily.
But like we said, there's a very...
But I think Lincoln Park is very investor friendly because you do see a lot of rentals in this neighborhood as well. So if you're looking into it as an investment, it's important to make sure you get the numbers right and talking to your realtor agent about how to get those good investment numbers. But if you can find a place in Lincoln Park, it's something you definitely want to do.
So I want to touch base on the rental population here because rents are really expensive.
Yes.
So if you are looking as an investment, Lincoln Park is a fantastic spot to invest in because rents are very high and people are willing to spend a ton of money because they can't necessarily maybe buy in the neighborhood, but they want to live in the neighborhood, so they're willing to spend a little bit more money. Mm-hmm. You do have a lot of old rentals, so if you can get a nicer rental, you're going to get a higher price easy, no problem. But you have to come ready to understand that, don't come to Lincoln Park if you're looking for a good price on a turnkey property.
Yeah.
You're just not going to get that.
There's always going to be some type of update you're going to have to do, and I would say floors is probably the biggest one with these older buildings.
And also, Lincoln Park isn't the best for transportation, in my opinion. You have Lakeshore on that side. Yeah. But you can be decently 15 to 20 minute walk from the train.
Yeah, I mean, for me, that's no big deal. So I think that's accessible. You do have a long list of buses, though, so you're okay with the buses.
Chicago's a bus city anyway.
Yeah, and being on the Lakeshore, I think as long as you're okay with taking the bus, bus hops right on Lakeshore Drive, and you're, downtown in seconds.
No, for sure. In regards to how close you are, You know, okay, like Ubers are vast here, right? So if
Yeah.
you're like an Uber person, then that's not a problem. But
I think the walkability, though, is the biggest thing in this neighborhood.
Walkability, without a doubt.
Because you have bars, restaurants. You can walk to the Lakeshore Path. You can walk to North Avenue Beach. I mean, you have so many things that are walking distance, which I think that is a huge sell point for a lot of people as well. They want to be able to just walk out their front door and have everything at their fingertips without having to get into a car. And I think Lincoln Park is very good with that.
Yeah. Let's talk about one feature that people love about Lincoln Park, the Lincoln Park Zoo.
Yes, the Lincoln Park Zoo.
It's a free zoo.
Yes,
Yeah,
and they throw tons of activities. They do zoo lights. They do like parents' night. They have beer walks. They do so much at Lincoln Park Zoo.
We love going there with our kids. It's a really nice central location. There's a ton of parks around there.
Yeah.
There is, you have the Lincoln Park Conservatory right outside too, where it's like really beautiful plants, but you do need a reservation for that. As we found out a month ago, when we were walking in all confident, they were like, "What time's your reservation?"
Do you know the first animal that began Lincoln Park Zoo?
I don't.
A swan. And we actually got them donated from a zoo in New York, and they brought them over here, and the swan literally is the reason why Lincoln Park Zoo exists today.
I wouldn't necessarily think that swans are a must-see for a zoo. Like if somebody gave me a swan, I wouldn't be like, I need to build a zoo now.
I think, so I couldn't get like too much detail on it, but I think we somehow rescued them and ended up like trying to help save their life, and they decided that they really liked saving animals' life, and so it grew from that is what I'm assuming happened. But it started from swans.
That's beautiful.
Swans.
But now they have brand new exhibit for the lions. They renovated, so they've been doing a lot of cool renovations. They do Lincoln Park Zoo lights. They do a lot of cool stuff. So Lincoln Park is just fantastic in that regard when it comes to like that stuff. And then for the kiddos, there's the barn, the Lincoln Park barn, where like you have barn animals, and that's super fun.
Yeah.
It just gives us a lot of fun stuff to do in the summertime when we're like, what should we do? And then plus you're right next to the lake. And
I think that was one of my favorite things growing up is after going to the zoo, we would go by the lake and have our like box picnic lunch thing. That was always like a core memory growing up. And I think that's really cool to have right next door to the zoo. So if you don't want to buy food there or whatever, you have that like nice picnic area next to the lake. You can go for a walk as a little like break, because that zoo is kind of big. It can take
and they recently renovated a theater on the lake too, so like that's a really cool spot that they redid on the lakefront. So what closing remarks would you like to have for Lincoln Park? What do you want people to remember about Lincoln Park?
Nothing too big. I feel like people already know Lincoln Park. I mean, the biggest thing is if you're trying to decide, if Lincoln Park's the right neighborhood for you, just keep in mind that it is super walkable and you do have everything at your fingertips.
Yeah.
But with that comes the price you pay for buying. It's going to be a little bit higher priced with that, but everything is so close by.
I would say one thing that is really cool is that the character of Chicago really shines in Lincoln Park. So you have like some of the coolest architecture here, some cool buildings. You have like really beautiful archways, like those amazing marble entryways that you have like in these really older buildings. Restaurants and bars and like some of the coolest destinations are for that. But I mean, listen, you come in here, it's like you gotta be ready to spend some coin.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, well, if you have any questions about Lincoln Park and you'd like to find out some more, or you want to know about the real estate, you know where to get us.
So aggressive.